How's it going, everybody? I wanted to share a quick word with you that has been pressing in my spirit, and rather than just allow more of the day to go on and continue to be bombarded with this pressing, I decided to stop for a second and to just yield and share. The word is temporary. And when I say temporary, I don't mean temporary as in a long versus a short period of time, but I mean temporary in something being temporal versus eternal. There's only one who is eternal, and that is God. And of course, it's written all over the Bible, but you can find it specifically in Deuteronomy 33:27, where it talks about the eternal God. It talks about God who is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, Hebrews 13:8. If he's eternal and he's always the same, then he is a very safe place. Which means anything that's not really like him are two things: temporal and changing. So that brings me to us. We are both temporal and eternal. Temporal in this flesh, but eternal in that which gives us life. The Bible says in Genesis that when God made man out of the dust of the earth, he breathed into him and man became a living soul. We are the only thing in the entire universe besides God himself that is eternal. And the only thing within us that is eternal is the life within us. So this temporary. But that means everything else that we go through, anything else that we may face, anything that we may see, anything that we may do, anything we may get involved in, anyone we may meet, anything that happens, whether it happens to us or it happens around us, happens in this world, all other things, anything else that is not God or our soul is temporary. Why is this important? It's important because, let's face it, we live in a world that is imperfect. It's flawed. And it means that because of the presence of sin, that we go through a whole lot of challenges. We go through a whole lot of rough spots, rough patches. And sometimes it can feel as though it's really, really tough to go through ups and downs, highs and lows. Sometimes it seems as though you may have more lows than highs. Sometimes it may feel as though it's so hard that it's difficult to get over. But I would like to reassure you that whatever it is that you're going through, however much it is, however long it is temporary. While it is not good for us to ever ignore how we truly feel about a situation, because that brings us to a point of denial where we can't ever really get to the truth about how we see a situation, we should equally be determined not to give a detrimental amount of energy and thought to the temporary things of our lives, whatever our struggles are. While we do have struggles, that struggle or those struggles are indeed temporary. They have a starting point. You're probably in the midst of it, but it also has an end date. You just haven't reached it yet. And if you keep on living, you will get there. The Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes 3 that there is a time and a place for everything and a season for everything and every activity under heaven, which means that just because you're good today doesn't mean you're always going to be good. You could be bad, going through bad tomorrow. You might be well today, tomorrow you may be sick. You may be sick today, but tomorrow you may be well. You never know. Whatever it is, that's why they call it a season. And we're not just talking about seasons in the form of climate. We're talking about seasons in atmosphere. So that means whatever is surrounding you, whatever is surrounding the world, whatever is going on, things will always change. If nothing else stays constant or the same, change is constant, which means that everything is temporary. We have to learn how to look at the challenges that we go through for the good that they do for us more than the discomfort that comes from them. Because the truth of the matter is, they are a reality of life. But just because things don't feel good doesn't mean that it doesn't do good for you. Wind may shake and may blow, But if you learn how to dig your heels in, you learn how to have a backbone and how to stand in the middle of something so that you have stability. You learn stability. Rain may be wet, but if you learn how to go get something to dry yourself off with, you learn how to take care of yourself. You may have to contend with someone who may be sick, but then you learn compassion for somebody who's in need. Certainly, consequently, if you get sick, you might want somebody to help take care of you. So you're learning empathy for someone else. There's so many things that we go through, and sometimes it can feel like it will never end. It will never get better. But just because it feels that way doesn't mean that it is that way. It may feel impossible. It may feel like you've hit rock bottom. You may feel like you cannot take anymore. You may feel that your family ties are so disrupted that you feel more like enemies than family. You may feel overworked. You may need another job. You may be unemployed, depressed, not understood. You may be sick. You may be homeless, abused, broke, jobless, hungry, forgotten about. All that, or worse, or better, all of those things are temporary. It will not remain. So let us remind ourselves of those things and put emphasis where the eternity lies, that which is within us, so that when we spend eternity outside of here, that we spend it where we're not going through eternal stress, eternal suffering, but we can spend it with an eternal God. I think that is more important than any temporary pain that we can face. I hope that we're encouraged. I hope that we can see a little bit better, and I will talk to y'all later.